Hi there, this is Elizabeth from Things from Another World, also known as Teapot.com, and I'm here with Dark Horse Senior Managing Editor Scott Allie, editor of a little comic called Buffy. This interview is going to center around Buffy 39 and Buffy Season 8 and hopefully Buffy Season 9, so spoiler alert, if you haven't read 39, if you don't want to know what's going on with 39, turn this off right now because we are going to talk about what's going down. Okay? I mean it. Okay. So, there's a couple major deaths in this comic, and I wanted to thank you for killing Maureen.
Oh yeah, that was good. That was the fun one, and I'm really happy with how that went down. I think it was funny, good idea for how we did it, and George just did a great job of drawing it. I just like a splat for a character that's been around for years and years and years. Splat.
It was one of those little funny moments in the middle of a huge amount of drama, which weirdly enough provided some levity.
Yeah, that's one of the things I love about George's is the way that he can segue from not like slapstick comedy, not Bigfoot comedy, but he can segue from pretty comical character stuff right into severely dramatic stuff and big action. His style just works for moving back and forth between those extremes really well.
Mm-hmm. So the death that everybody's going to really be talking about, though, of course, is Giles.
Darth Vader.
So how did the idea even come into your mind to kill off Giles?
He had it coming.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to tell anybody that. Like the decision to do it, it was Joss's. It was a process of discussing where things were going for different characters. So I'm not going to go too deeply into that, but that is kind of the question everybody's asking. Mm-hmm. But the decision to kill a character like that, the one other time that I've really been involved in that is when we killed Roger in Hellboy. Mm-hmm. Roger had been around a while. He was such a sweet, beloved character, and with that one, there was a long consideration process. Mignola was saying, yeah, I think we're going to kill Roger. And that slowly came into being. Whereas with Giles, Joss just knew. At some point, he knew that's what we were going to do. He knew that's where we were going. And it's been a heavy cross to bear, like knowing that was coming and wanting to make sure that we earned it, which to some degree, there's going to be plenty of fans who will feel that we didn't, because you can never earn something that big. You can never build up to the justified death of such an important figure. When you think of Buffy, Buffy's an ensemble story, and the ensemble at its smallest part breaks down to the four characters. Buffy, Xander, Willow, and Giles. And the fans, I guess, often talk about how nobody's safe. Well, except the core four. Nobody's safe. Anybody can die.
I don't believe that anymore.
The core four. Well, clearly not.
Spoiler alert! Season 9, Buffy dies.
Yep. No, 40, Buffy dies.
But it seems like especially frustrating because it feels like Giles has been marginalized for so long in the show, in the comic. It looked like something was going to get off the ground with Faith, and it never did. And now it's just like, it's gone.
It's gone.
All right, well,
that wasn't a question.
Pardon me, I was just venting a little bit there.
There's a few people doing that on the internet. I'm not sure you're alone.
Yeah. Well, regarding his relationship with Faith's someone who's always been looking for a father figure. She's always, even though she kind of rebels against it and doesn't want to admit it, she looked like she was finding that with Giles, and it seems like Giles' last interaction with her was basically being like, yoink, I'm going to take that scythe for Buffy, see you later. Like, how is Faith going to deal with that? Kind of being like the junior member of the squad again, the overlook, the redheaded stepchild.
Well, you should, yeah, watch it. She's always been the redheaded stepchild and ever shall be. And yeah, it's interesting. These relationships are really complex. Yeah, that scene, that moment, the one that you're referring to where Giles gets the scythe from her, he's certainly not thinking about how his words will impact her, because they're in the middle of a of a tremendous battle, like the biggest battle of their lives, and so he's not thinking about how dismissive he's being of her. And if Giles could change one thing about that issue, it might be that he wouldn't die. But if not that, it would probably be that his last words to Faith would not be so abrupt and to be summed up as Buffy's important, you know. It's funny, George's and I were just talking about that scene a little while ago, and George's was saying that he thought it was interesting that the dialogue that I initially wrote for that scene was so much longer and so much more evocative, and then we pared it down to something so succinct, and I was like, did we really? And I went back and looked at the first draft of the script. I'm like, no, George's, we didn't change that at all. Like, the interaction between Giles and Faith, we didn't change it at all. It's just that I think George's understood the gravity of what was going on between them so well, and I think he drew it really well. I think all Faith says when Giles is like, I gotta go take care of Buffy, you good luck, all Faith says is the word right. She just says right. But in that word and in her posture is like, you know, this total depression about being the redheaded stepchild. And yeah, she won't get a second chance on that, and he's the one who needs a second chance. He won't get a second chance on that. But Faith, I think one thing about season 8 for Faith that I wish we got to show more of, but we consistently showed, that Faith has grown up more than a lot of people. Faith has grown up more than some of the other characters, and Faith has the ability to rise above. And so this this moment, that her last moment with Giles, she'll be able to do better. You know, she'll be able to move on. She's got good things in store for her for season 9.
Like what?
I'm not gonna tell you.
Do you think Giles knew he was going to his death? I mean, how could he not, though, getting between two, you know, superpower beings who are trying to kill each other?
Well, his goal wasn't, I mean, he did say that he needs to be in there, he needs to be between them, but you can take those words to mean a lot of different things. But what he was doing, he was going to smash a weapon against a magical object. That's what he was going to do. He wasn't going into the room to fight Angel. He was running into the room to break the seed. And if he could break the seed, then, you know, the fight would be taken down to a different level, and the Twilight power would go away, and either Angel would no longer be possessed, or whatever the exact influence of Twilight was. He either wouldn't be possessed anymore, or he at least wouldn't have the superpowers anymore. And so the fight between him and Buffy would be taken down to a scale that we've seen before, that they both could have walked away from. So it wasn't so much that Giles was saying, I'm the one who has to kill Angel. That's not what he was doing. He was running for the seed, and he just wasn't as fast as he thought he was.